Hey, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, Talk Tuesday is our weekly segment where we go over tips to help you enhance your finances. I'm Coach D, your budget coach, and I want to help you to reach and exceed your financial goals while still enjoying life in the process. This month, we are focusing on savings. So that is what we'll be talking about today. Today is our third live on savings, and we'll be discussing different types of savings accounts. Hello. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. So let me pull the hair so we can see the t-shirt. But we're going to be talking about three different savings accounts today. And then remind me, I shouldn't forget. I got like a little printout thing that I have just as a reminder, but just in case, I wanted to tell you all about something that a coworker told me today. After we finish, what I came here to talk about, because it was something that was rather interesting. So we're going to talk about that at the end. But thank you all for tuning in. I love it when you're here as soon as I pop on. I appreciate you. So we're talking about savings. So savings is very important. We always say that, right? But and part of savings is having your different types of savings. You're saving for different reasons. Sometimes we're saving for short-term goals. Sometimes we're saving for long-term goals. And having the different types of goals would require us to save in different places. Different places could benefit us. So something that has, maybe less interest wouldn't be where we want to save for something that's long term. But anywho, so certain examples of short term you might be saving for could be, oh, my thing says Wi-Fi. Are you guys, am I freezing up for you guys? I'm going to keep talking, but just let me know in the comments. But short term goals would be, paying down debt, assuming you don't have, oh, good. Thank you. Could be, paying down debt. It could be saving for a vacation. It could be, what else is short term? Vacation, building your emergency fund, depending on how much you're trying to build. That could be a shorter term goal. For a long term goal, it could be, building up a college fund for your child. If your child's young and it's something you're going to be working on for a long time. It could be preparing for retirement. Important. As long as we start, earlier, then it should be long term. Of course, if we wait a little bit later and we're about to retire, then that's kind of a short term goal. So that can kind of go on both sides depending on how close you are to retirement. And another long term goal could be paying off your home. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, then that's a long period of time. So depending on what you're saving for or saving towards, that would determine the type of savings account you should be looking into. So we're going to talk about three today. And thank you guys for just again being here. So first, let's talk about a traditional savings account, which is one that most of us have, and that's going to be at your local bank or at a local credit union. And those ones are easier to get. They'll have a lower interest rate. They won't have all those rules of, they typically don't have the rules of how much you need to have in the account. It won't be hard to pull your money out of that account. That's where you should be saving for smaller amounts, so it's easier for you to get to the branch, pull the money out. If I need it, oh, I put it in here, but something happened, let me go get it. So that's why it's good for a short term, because your money's more than likely not going to be in that account for a long period of time. So that's what we would use our traditional bank account for, our traditional savings account. And those interest rates aren't really high. They're usually less than 1%. And then, when we think about it, and we'll see, like, you'll get your little interest, might be 2 cents, 3 cents, not a lot, but we'll see it hit, in our account. If we have enough to, depending on their rules, certain ones, you need a certain amount of money in there to build the interest. But, so, if you see those little droplets of interest in there, from your regular savings account, how much you typically get. So our money it's not in there long enough to build that savings up. So that's typically where we would keep our short-term, savings, because, we're kind of moving that money in and out. A second account I have on here is a high yield savings account. So high yield savings account is the one that's going to have that interest that we want to actually see our money growing. And those accounts are typically at online banks or banks that don't have local branches for you. And that, is a benefit for them because they're not paying for those branches. They're able to, give you more in interest. And, those ones might have more limitations. They might say, okay, well, you have to have this much amount, in here before you can open the account, or you can, only withdraw this much, this often, or, they might have just different rules. They have different rules. I wrote down some examples. So I'm going to tell you some examples of them because you probably, some of them you might have heard of, some of them you might not have. Because I pulled up right before we got on here, I pulled up, a list of high yield savings accounts that were considered to be the highest ones as of this month. So depending on when you're listening, if you're not listening like, now or in the near future, then these ones might not be the current high yield ones, but right. Well, they're all high yield, but I mean the, the highest ones, right? So I pulled up. They had Sophie on here, SOFI. I mean FI. They had on here Amex. So American Express, if you don't know, they opened up savings accounts. They have accounts, other ones just like Capital Ones. These credit card companies are opening up these savings accounts because they're finding, ways to build and, use that money to taking your money in and lending it to other people and putting it on, so that's their benefit. But they are giving out more interest to kind of pull the people into, for those benefits for you and them. So I definitely know Capital One because I already have a Capital One savings account. I had that for a little bit, and that's actually what pulled me in with them was the higher interest that they offered. So for me, that's I use that one because one, it's a little bit harder for me to get to, which is also always a benefit for building your savings. Now I can get to it. I can transfer the money. It might take a little bit longer, but if I need it like immediately, I have to pay a fee, right? So if I really don't need it, then I typically wouldn't pull that money out, which helps me to build my savings, and that's a part of that. So it's harder to get to, but it helps you to build your money up. It will help you to um, not touch it as often. Another one on here is Barclay. Now, you might have heard about that. That's like I don't want to say a newer bank. I'm not sure how long ago they opened it, but they took over one of the credit cards that I had, so it's newer to me. So that's another one that's like a credit card company that has bank accounts. Synchrony, that's a credit card company that I used to have. I think Barclay bought out somebody that I had a credit card with that was Synchrony. So again, these credit card companies are coming up with these savings accounts and they're giving out good interest. So they're trying to pull people in. It's Capital One 360. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it is. And that is, and now they have savings accounts. Before they had just checking accounts. Now they have savings accounts. They have different type. They have, it's almost like, well, not almost like, because it's like a bank, but check them out. See, which one has the best benefits for you. Look and see what are the requirements to pull the money out. And some of them have really good interest, over 4% compared to your traditional bank that has less than 1%, and see which ones benefit you. But that's what I have. And I put my money in there, and it's really cool to see how much interest goes into there every month versus how much goes into my traditional savings account. So I like it. I put most of my savings in that account. So, it can grow for when I need it or just to let it grow because I don't need the money right now, right? So I let it go in there. I don't even touch it. I don't have a card for that account. I wouldn't recommend getting a card for any account that we're intending to build long term in, as we don't intend to pull that money out, right? So I don't think you should get a card. I don't know. I didn't know that American Express. Yeah. Yep. Now I knew that because I have an American Express card, so they were, sending, little alerts, in your app, letting you know, check it out, look into it. You might want to open up one, or things like that, because they want you to open it up, right? So that they can give you interest, but then they're, making a lot of money off of it for you. So I have, and then they have, the interest that benefits you, assuming you're not pulling it in and pulling out. But that's why I have the restrictions. You can leave it there. Number 3. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a good time in Texas. Um, Number 3, money market accounts. So those are like a hybrid account. So that's like the difference between like um it might have like, some aspects of the savings account, some aspects of the checking account. So with that one, you have the high yield. You have the high interest, just like the high yield savings account. But you could also write a couple checks on there. You can't write a lot like your normal checking account, but they'll, limit because they want you to keep the money there. So those accounts are good because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds, because maybe if you need that money, you don't have to go pull it or wait some days. You can, write a check to yourself. So that's something that's beneficial to you about that. So you can look into those ones and see what's best for you, because that also has the easy access, the high interest. Now they will limit your transactions. Like, okay, you can't do a whole lot. We want you to keep the money in here, because those kind of accounts, you have to remember, they're also doing things in the background. Those are the ones that are typically involved with stocks. They're typically involved with, um, you know, things like that, like investing. So again, these accounts are created for you to leave the money in there, for it to, not only just like a typical bank, just like, or a traditional bank, when you put your money in there, they are lending it out to other people. That is how they make their money. So it's almost like you're kind of losing on the traditional bank, because they give you less than 1% interest, but then they'll loan it out to someone else for a lot of interest. So they are, doing more with your money than you are. But if your money's only in there for a long time, I mean, for a short period of time, then, it's a win-win for you. It's easy for you to get to. So that's why you have to weigh your options and see what's best for you financially, in your savings goals. I may have missed it. Did you say anything about CDs? I didn't say anything about CDs, and I do have that over here, but I wasn't going to say anything about it. But since you talked about the CDs, I'm going to look into what I have down here. I just had a little bit of notes about CDs. So if you, were interested in that, that's like a certificate of deposit that they have at your financial institutions. And for those are kind of cool because they have higher interest, but they are like locked in. Like, you really can't get that money unless you want to pay a penalty on that, right? So then that kind of makes you not pull that money out. But the benefit of it is knowing, once you get that, you put your money in there, you know how long your money is going to be there. You know how long you will not have access to your money. You will know how long, about not exactly how much interest you're going to, incur, because those are the terms that you agree to in the beginning. So you might agree to something that's like such and such, maybe 5-10% interest. I don't know, depending on what you agree to. So then it could say, in 18 months or 5 years. Like, it literally depends, because they have different levels. So whatever you sign up for, you're signing up for that time frame, the percentage, and the longer you keep it, the higher the interest is, because again, like we just said, they benefit from holding on to your money because they're able to lend it out to other people. So your benefit from it is they're going to give you more interest, but you just have no access to it. And if you needed it, I mean, you could go in there, you got to go probably through like a little more hoops, and then you pay the penalty. So for a CD, if you really, 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 really don't need that money, go for it, right? But if it's a possibility that you might want to get to your money, that's, you kind of have to weigh your options as far as what the penalty is if you were to come into an emergency and need that money. Hey, thank you for tuning in. So just be mindful of that when you look into a CD, because you can get it out, but it's going to be harder and it's going to be like a penalty. So those are my different savings accounts that we're talking about today. So I'm going to tell you about what a coworker told me today at work. Now, this is something that maybe you all might know, but I didn't know. But when I learn stuff, I like to come on here and just share it with you guys as soon as I know. I don't want to hold on to the news. You're welcome. So I wanted to, share it with you all, because it's something I learned. So, it might be beneficial to you. So I know that some states, when you retire, they will tax your pensions, right? So that's something I'm very aware of. I didn't know about that. Some states do, some states don't. So that, determines where people move to when they retire. But what I learned today that I did not know is some states tax your Social Security benefits. So I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. So I actually, looked it up before I came on, to make sure that, not saying that I didn't believe, what she, gave me, but just to look and learn a little more about it. So states really charge, taxes on it. So there are currently 10 states that charge taxes on your Social Security. And it's going to be 9 soon. So while I was reading, West Virginia is going to be phasing it out for their state. So what they did was this year, 2024, they decreased it by 35%, and then they're going to slowly decrease it, and then 2026 they're going to phase it out. So they won't be charging it any longer. But these are things you should think about when we're planning for the long term as far as retirement. What we're thinking about, I tell you guys all the time to log into Social Security and see how much you're anticipated to get when you get to that retirement age. Better think about these things, and think about some people want to move away when they retire. Think about where you're going. Think about how it affects your money. So think about, is this state going to tax my pension? Am I even getting a pension? Is this state going to tax my Social Security? We don't want to go anywhere that's going to, pull from the money that we're, planning on living with. We're already living with less than what we're living with while working. So these are things to keep in mind. But you guys know I don't like to keep you guys for a long time. But we're here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube at Enhancing Your Finances. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. And next week we will continue talking about savings for the rest of this month. And then we'll have a new topic next month. If you're just tuning in for the first time, like I said, go back. We go live every Tuesday since the beginning of last year. So there's a lot of videos to check out. And I thank you all always for tuning in and being here with me. I hope this is beneficial. Good questions to know before. That's right. Questions to know before you retire. Think about it. Don't spring your retirement on yourself. Plan for it. Make the best of it. Take the time, just like you plan for a vacation. Plan for your retirement, right? So, and if you need help with that, we can hop on a call. I can help you with the planning if you really want somebody to help you out and go through things with you. But have a great rest of your day. Happy Tuesday. Happy budgeting. We're a little bit over halfway through the month. Have a wonderful Juneteenth tomorrow. Also, and I will see you all next week. Let me see. There's a new comment. Oh, you're very welcome. All right. See you guys.